ForexDayBreak podcast.
Good morning and welcome to episode 111. Forex pairs in this episode are EURUSD, very exciting day yesterday, strong move higher. Dollar yen, same thing here, a very strong move to downside. And pound dollar, also a strong move higher and a conclusion of the correction. It is recommended that you will learn to read the market yourself and not just blindly enter trades based on my signals or from any other signal provider. I will not take responsibility from your trading losses or credit from your profits. Okay, that said, let's start this episode. Hello and welcome to the show. This is Forex Daybreak Daily Podcast with me, Ville Vainio, and very exciting day yesterday, at least in the EURUSD currency pair, also in dollar yen. Some big moves. And now we have a lot of upside on EURUSD. We have violated the 110.865 level, which was the low of the first wave on this larger 5-wave structure. Price went all the way up to 111.44, has now come down back below 110.865, price now 785. And let's see this. Let's zoom out a little bit. We can see the whole structure. So I see two options basically here. One option is that we are forming a leading diagonal for this larger first wave structure. Another option is that we are still in the larger B wave correction, intermediate wave B correction, which started way back. Let's actually zoom once more out. Started way back in right here 104.6, and this is all the way back to March of 2015. So almost 1 year ago we have started this large sideways correction. Now this chart is quite messy with all of these labels, but I just wanted to show you how long we have been making this structure. So if we zoom a little bit out, in. So now, since we have violated the 110.865 level, we can now of course conclude that one of the two options is more likely to be the case. So I'm still going to go with this labeling, which would put this latest high as minus wave 4 still. This would mean that we have a leading diagonal triangle as this first wave, minor wave 1 in my labeling, and we should see one more 5-wave structure, the downside, to complete this leading diagonal. And we are quite near on those levels right now. If we connect these peaks, we can see that there's a slight push above the trend line here. And we are now hovering right around that trend line. If we take a look at the structure in more detail, let's zoom in and perhaps we can take a look at this in a 30-minute chart. We can see now that we have a 5-wave structure out of this very strong move which happened yesterday. All of this was just from yesterday. So if we take a look, this is 235 pips approximately. So all of this very strong upwards move happened yesterday. There are some news events, but I'm not seeing this as relating to those. Of course, it happened at the same time. This was a catalyst for this big move. But the main point here is that we violated the 110.865 level, which puts this whole wave structure or wave count it puts this in jeopardy. So I don't have any trades at the moment. I want to see some structure here. If this decline from the 111.44 looks corrective, then we can expect more upside than the conclusion would be more towards the view that the larger correction is still in force and is forming, and then we should expect move closer to 117, 115, near those levels to complete this very complex sideways structure. But if we get more downside, can see an impulsive structure forming to downside, then we can conclude that we are dealing more likely with leading diagonal and can expect the fifth wave to begin. So quite an interesting development in EURUSD, and at the moment I wouldn't place any trades unless I see some structure here in neither direction, in the upside, a continuation for this strong move, or then an impulsive structure to the downside. So very interesting to see how this develops. At the moment, very hard to say. We have seen some sideways price action during the night. Looks corrective at the moment. Maybe we can see more upside and the continuation for this very strong push higher, but still too early to say, hard to say what will be the conclusion for this pair. So if we take a look at the 4-hour chart once more, we see this whole sideways structure, and my labeling is that this should conclude this 333 correction and minute wave 4, and next larger move should be to the downside. But like I said, at this point, very hard to say what will be the correct analysis here. All right, let's see dollar yen. Same here, very similar situation, a very strong decline. And this is of course in line with the view that we are forming a large triangle. I said that when we reach the, let's draw it here, when we reach the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement, there should be a resistance there, and the price didn't go higher than that. So the 61.8% retracement is from the previous decline and is measuring the relationship between the previous leg of the triangle to this new leg. So we can see a three-wave structure here, and perhaps now can expect a slight upwards move and then a decline, the final decline towards 116, towards the lower part of this triangle, lower trend line. Let's draw it here. So we can see from the 115.97 we see clear three-wave structure almost at 122 level, and this of course the strong move was the Bank of Japan going into negative territory with their benchmark interest rate. And now we see very strong move back even below the level from which we started that strong move, and now maybe we can expect a three-wave move to upside and then a decline right around 116 level or thereabouts towards the lower part of the trend line, and this would be the conclusion for this large triangle. After that, it's a little bit unclear what will be the next larger move here. My wave labeling is proposing that we are forming a very large ABC correction to correct the multi-year bull market, multi-year upwards trend that started near 75 levels. But I'm not expecting a very large move to the downside on this pair. Yen has been very weak. The economy is in the big problems, so I'm not expecting any major downwards moves or strengthening the yen. Of course, once the deflation takes hold on Japan, there can be, of course, strengthening of the yen based on loans deflating, money supply deflating. So there can be some downwards expectation in dollar yen and yen pairs in general. So this is the view for the short term. In this pair we are forming the triangle and the last leg of the triangle, and the move towards 116 is the next larger target. After that is slightly unclear what will be the next move. Okay, we'll see next pound dollar. Similar move in pound dollar yesterday, very strong upwards move and a weakening of dollar in almost all of the dollar pairs. So 146.48 was the high yesterday, straight up towards those levels. So big day yesterday in this pair as well. 270 pips almost in one day, in just a few hours. Actually, whole day was this move, and this of course makes the labeling here a little more complex. We can see the low of the first wave here. There's still room for more upside, but we see a three-wave structure forming or formed here, and we can draw it here. So if we take this triangle as wave A, I haven't labeled this yet. If we take this triangle as wave A, then a three-wave move as wave B, and then perhaps a five-wave structure or WXY formation is another option. Perhaps a better labeling is the double tree. So triangle as wave W, then this strong move downwards as wave X, and now a three-wave move as wave Y, and then this should conclude on this high of 146.48, and next we can expect a five-wave structure towards new lows below the previous low of this third wave, which is around 140.05. So this is the expectation on a pound dollar. We are short one wave of this five-wave structure. We can expect one more five-wave structure to the downside before a larger correction takes hold. So a good trading opportunity once we see a little bit confirmation of the start of this impulsive structure to the downside. Okay, that's all for today. Subscribe in YouTube to get these videos, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye bye.
ForexDayBreak.com